You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
But hey, we're old friends. Like I think I met you, Dan, probably 10 years ago back in my HP days. But we got Dan and Clayton here from Nuspire Networks. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy President's Day. Did you guys buy any mattresses today? Go to all the sales?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
President's
no
Day
furniture,
means,
no.
I didn't know you got
towels.
days off. Who got days off today?
Postmen, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Banks.
Kids went to school. I had to work. Whatever. So, for those that don't know Nuspire, give us a little the 10-second elevator pitch.
We are one of the leading managed security service providers around the globe. We've been doing this since the late 90s. We got 2 offices here in Oakland County, 1 in Cincinnati. It's been a wild ride over the last, I think, 14 years I've been here and 20 that the company's been going on.
So, I mean, managed security, how the heck do you stay on top of everything?
I have people like Clayton with me.
You're supposed to answer that, Clayton.
Yeah.
Oh, you know? Yeah.
I just run.
Well, and a lot of it, too, is we dedicate a ton of folks to research and development. So you really, to stay on top of it, you've got to have a lot of people. It's not just a one-man show. You've got to have a ton of people, and that's their job, is just, staying on top of it, researching new things, putting in huge development platforms and long sales cycles to make sure that you're actually on top of the game.
I mean, so one of our common things we talk about all the time is I think we've gotten so desensitized to security breaches that I don't think anyone cares anymore. Like the whole Target, Wendy's, we read a breach a week. Like we just did one for, I don't even know who, the 119,000 credit cards, FedEx. I'm going to use FedEx tomorrow when I buy something from Amazon. I could care less. I mean, when did we stop caring? Did we just, unless it affects you?
End, I guess.
Yeah.
Or stop paying attention. I mean, I remember like Target when the talk was about, are you still going to shop at Target? And now it's like, are we even going to talk about the last one that happened? It's so commonplace that I think we've stopped caring.
Tylenol poisoned people and their stock went up.
Sales went up too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked with some really large organizations that are just saying because of that, they're willing to take that risk.
Are you kidding?
Yep. I mean,
no press is bad press. Just your name's out there.
Well, it's expensive, right? There's so much tied to, I think you can quantify how much a breach costs.
Yep.
And then you may have to pay for credit monitoring. I think there are bills to actually charge per customer's information you disclose. But people are still willing to take the risk?
Yeah, because they can quantify the risk now. It used to be like brand identity and your stock is going to plummet. We're all going to lose our jobs. And now there's a dollar figure with it. And there's, boards that are saying,
it's cheaper than buying stuff from Bob.
Yeah.
But isn't that, what was it? Was it a library or school district that just said, I'm not going to?
It was a library, yeah.
Said, I'm not putting anything in.
Got hit with ransomware, and they figured out that it was cheaper to just replace all the computers than it was to pay the ransom.
But then there was another one that just left everything open.
Yeah.
Just like whatever.
Yep.
If I'm going to get breached anyway, I'm not even going to buy anything.
Yeah.
Just could put a Netgear.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
It's admin 123.
Right.
Yeah.
Turn NAC on.
Have at it.
Turn NAC on and then I'm done. Yeah, exactly.
One of the things we've been seeing with ransomware is their customer support is fantastic.
Right.
They don't want it to get out that, that you're going to get screwed at the end of the day. So they need to make sure that you get your data back. So we've got customers or, new customers after this that will say, they followed up just to make sure I was pleased with my transaction.
Please rate us on Yelp.
Right.
5 stars would unlock again.
We're going to send you a customer survey from.
So, I mean, not only, you guys do like managing firewall security, but you guys are also implementing wireless and kind of managing that.
Yeah, we do a lot. We're SLA driven, right? And so it doesn't take long before companies are saying, that's great, secure my network, but I also need you to set up a network. And we're not just talking about, firewalls and software and hardware anymore. I need wireless and I need it secure wireless. And I was thinking the other day, why are we still talking about wireless? I've been doing this for, more than a dozen years now, and I just assumed eventually that would kind of go away.
Nobody wants to talk about it. They just want it to be on.
Exactly.
They don't even want to know it exists. They just my stuff, click, go, yes, now.
Never change the key. Never have to touch it.
Right, exactly. But
Yeah,
I mean, is it
I
still?
can connect anything to anywhere.
But are still people I remember people caring about rogue. See, the thing was back in the day, you had rogue APs, guys bringing in their Netgears, putting them under the desk, and that was a big problem for security. Then you had the whole BYOD thing. People bringing their own device, and now you have you need everything on everything.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine now being a 100,000 person organization that has to get secure data on every device that people bring in and the ones you supply.
And we deal a lot with
As Clayton rolls his eyes.
I just wouldn't do it.
Right.
We deal a lot with a lot of companies that have a lot of locations, and rogue wireless devices are still an issue because you don't necessarily know those IT folks if you're a branch office in Toulouse, right? And you just need to get wireless. Sometimes it's easier just to go to Best Buy and figure it out. I don't understand how it's still an issue, but we're still dealing with it. Clayton and I had one a while ago that they were in a big office complex, and it took a while, and there was problems with their neighbors. Do you remember this one, Clayton? Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'm on the sales side. I'm like, Clayton, what technology do they need? And he's like, they don't need any technology. They need an arbitrator. It was their neighbors were causing problems, and it's still difficult. I don't get it.
They just simplified their network as much as they possibly could so they wouldn't be as subject to the combat, because some of their neighbors actually were trying to jam them.
Purposely?
Yes.
Yeah. They just
Raspberry.
Yeah,
exactly. Is it raspberry? Yeah, exactly.
What did I see this week? Was there a guy who was fined by the FCC for trying to jam cell phones from his car during his morning drive?
Yep.
He was pissed off at people on the phone all the time.
Yeah, had an RFID jammer, yeah.
That's hysterical.
Or an RF
He
jammer,
cares
yeah.
that much what other people are doing in their cars to do that?
Yeah, then they start hitting their phone trying to get it to work. And
Right.
Yeah.
God, that's asshole. That is really, yeah.
Says the guy with the app on his phone that turns off his kid's device's network access at a drop of a hat.
Damn right. They're kids, man. Driving to work in the morning.
Well, I think we've all been there, right? Where you're driving behind someone, you're like, what is wrong with this person? You speed by and you always got to take a look at him. And you're expecting to see some old blind dog or something. And it's just
it's someone
on the
texting.
phone.
Yeah.
So, you guys are hiring tons of people all the time. And it's one thing, we're doing a program right now to get people into entry-level IT.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what we found out is that there's 3 rules to be awesome at entry-level IT is to show up on time and not smoke pot and to show up on time.
What's wrong with smoking pot?
It's not my rule, dude.
Sometimes it makes you late.
Pass a drug
When it
test.
makes you late, exactly.
It is not my law. I just, but that's the thing. How are you guys? Are you guys having a hard time?
It's
finding
hard.
and attracting talent.
It's hard to find good people, and we're talking everything from entry level all the way to senior engineers. And we've always had that kind of fun culture, and we're always doing a lot of real fun things to attract people, from free haircut and lunches, and they take everyone to Mackinac Island and
Free haircut.
yeah, free haircut day. It's something else.
What the heck? Is that where it's gone to?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, we're not even.
They'll
all,
make money on Clayton. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I should demand some other perk.
Right.
We've seen,
It's not the neck shave, just everything.
Scalp massage.
Problem is, it's hairdressers, not barbers, so I can't just get it shaved.
Oh, right.
We've seen, though, we're not the only ones. I mean, there's companies that have nap pods and stuff like that. I'm sure 22-year-old me probably wouldn't have dealt well with a nap pod, but
22-year-old me too. Yeah, I would never use it. I mean, now the nap pod they call it
now.
No, they call it working from home.
It's my couch.
Right, exactly.
I get it. I worked at Google, and the amount of perks I got from working there was insane. 3 meals a day, do my dry cleaning, doctor on site, everything I could ever want during my workday. I could get a Google assigned girlfriend, even not quite. But it's why is
Wow.
why is the industry moving that way? And do people really? Does that equate to more job satisfaction?
I don't know. On the other side, too, a lot of times you'll see other companies and their office is just a big wooden table. And so is that what people want?
Well,
to do?
but here's
You know
the
what-
thing.
you know what-
Is it job satisfaction, or is that the company just figuring out how to keep you at the office longer?
Yeah. Because
Productivity though.
Because my thing is 4-hour Wednesdays, get your stuff done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Morning or afternoon, you take, and just to me, that's okay. I could get my stuff done. I don't need to get my oil change in the parking lot of where I work.
Right.
I don't need a haircut. I prefer to go to my salon and watch soap operas with them. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? They want you at the office as long as humanly possible.
Well, and having fun, too. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I think we do is, to keep people at the office, but also to keep that culture and that morale up. I mean, there's some stuff that probably isn't the most productive. What is it? Clayton got to put on a Good Times event for winning an award. And what did you bring in? Video
I
games?
just brought in classic video games.
Old Super Nintendo games. And I think productivity probably dipped for a little while, but people like being at the office then.
That's rare, though. Nobody likes being at the office. They say they are. But if you let me play video games versus working, I love being at the office.
Yeah,
Let me go home.
Get a haircut while you're at it.
So let's jump back to what you guys are doing day to day. So, I mean, it always boggles my mind when people say they're managing security. Because to me, it's just this weird, like it's not just 7-layer dip; it's like 3,700 layer dip.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you start and where do you stop? Is it just like are you following processes and trying to cover as many bases, or what? I guess what
It depends a lot, I guess, from customer to customer. And some of them it's 1 layer, 2 layers. Some of them need the whole dip. But that's part of it. Is at the end of the day, we kind of believe that it's going to be service levels, right? Like at the end of the day, you don't want a router, you want to route data. And so folks have figured out different parts of that dip, kind of using your analogy, but they need help with others. And so we've got
I need the guacamole, I need the tomato and the bean.
Yeah, and to make that dip, we need a lot of people, which goes back to trying to figure out where and how to find really good people.
Right. I mean, what do we talk about underemployment now for cybersecurity people? Like,
it's negative unemployment.
Oh, negative unemployment. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 3.5 million unfilled jobs in the United States by 2020.
That's 2 years away.
It is.
That's nuts. And that's funny because not to sidetrack.
Where do you see yourself 2 years from now? Don't know. Don't have 2020 vision.
Right. Like they're so like I got my 13-year-old's going to be a freshman next year in high school, and she gave me her class list, and there's like 9th grade she can take computer programming, and then 10th grade already she can take networking, security, and then hacking principles.
Jesus, in high school.
In 9th and 10th grade.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Right. So
I'd like to see the materials, like how good they are.
to be honest, I can't see
Hacking
them
punch card.
right.
Bob, she's going to turn off the device that you have that turns off her access.
Oh, I know. That's what I don't want to teach her too much.
Oh, I love it. But why is this such a thing? I mean, every time I'm in an Uber and people are like, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm in IT. They're like, I've heard about, or I'm thinking about getting into it. It's really the future. And I'm like, no. It's not the future. It's now.
We're looking at now.
Why is perception still like that? Why is it so hard to find people?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it might have been the schooling issue, right? Some of the folks that like I talk to that are, maybe that senior level executive, they didn't go to school for IT and network security, and they fell into it from project management, or they're really good at managing budgets, and someone just said, now security's yours. I think that's going to change.
MIS degrees were kind of silly. Like Clayton, you could probably attest to that. Like I graduated high school in 91, like get an MIS degree and you look at the course and you're like, this is kind of goofy.
Hey, I know Pascal.
Right.
Clayton's a
Yeah,
food
I
science
was
major.
just a bona fide geek. That's where most of the early IT people, like I came in at the very tail end of like doing NetWare 3 and stuff like that, and had managing DOS machines and stuff like that. So like,
I remember.
Hey, I could hack a Commodore PET with the best of them, man. I got cred.
But that's so I'm building on that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like for some people, like they're coming in, and there's just so much to know. Like now you really have to specialize a lot more.
Sure.
Back when I was first getting to it, you could almost be like
You could be a generalist, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how I started my career, was in a call center IT, and it was like I was the guy who blew dust out of computers, and then I taught myself the phone switch, and I taught myself email and Active Directory. But then those jack of all trades are really, well, it's actually coming back. I think DevOps folks are now pretty much the new jack of all trades, right? So I don't know.
And I think a lot of people really kind of fell into it, but hopefully pretty soon people set out right from the get-go. It'd be great if your daughter's in 9th or 10th grade saying, I want to be an ethical hacker. We need more of that.
Right. She wants to be in theater, but I'm like, no, you can be theater on the weekend. You be an ethical hacker during the week. Like, I don't mind if you do like all that. She tried to take acting. I'm like, no, you're taking programming, not acting. So you're already in theater. So yeah, it's one of those. I want to be a YouTuber. That's not a job. That's what you do when you get home from your job. Unless you make a lot of money, then you could quit your job, but that's not your job.
Right.
But hey, Nuspire, you guys have been around forever, and it seems like you're kind of one of our better kept secrets in town in terms of like longevity in IT companies. Usually they're either coming or going, or they're getting bought, or they go away. But you guys, through the thick and thin of this thing, you guys are still trucking. It's good to see.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And keeping a good culture.
Dan keeps selling stuff.
Go crazy. I can't believe they haven't fired him yet. Like seriously, like
Yeah, it's a miracle. I don't get it.
Okay, but explain why, jackass, because that's a really crappy statement to lay on somebody.
what?
I can't believe they haven't fired him yet.
I'm being funny. It's a sales guy talking to a sales guy. That's what we talk
get
about
it.
all the time. We have limited
You have
shelf
shelf
lives.
lives, yeah.
And so like they still kept you. Like that's the first thing another sales guy says to another sales guy.
I've got a crazy half-life.
Or
He's plutonium.
yeah, exactly. But how do we find you online? Newspirenetworks.com?
Nuspire.com.
And that's NU Spire.
Nuspire, and then you can hit even /careers if you're interested.
Cool.
Appreciate it, guys.
Guys, appreciate coming on.